What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, it is finally here. The NBA playoffs are here, and as you can see, I am filming this video an hour before the playoffs begin. So it's gonna be crazy playoffs. We have a lot of new people that we didn't expect to be in the playoffs, like a lot of new teams, like the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Magic. Just it's going to be a crazy playoffs. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications so you won't miss out on any of exciting videos. I posted a play-in tournament video that didn't get the very many views, so make sure that, sorry about that. Make sure you go check that video out. And yeah, let's get started to these playoff predictions. Starting in the East, because I start with the East every year for some reason. Number 1 seed Boston Celtics versus the number 8 seed Miami Heat. Now, the Heat destroyed the Bulls last night. It didn't really... it did impress me that they did it without Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier. And the Bulls, though, the Bulls got so lucky beating both with both teams, even though they lost. Against the Hawks, the Bulls had even though they had Zach LaVine out, the Hawks had not fully healthy Trae Young, who still had the cast on. He had Jalen Johnson out, Onyeka Okongwu out, and which are big key defenders for Atlanta. And then, obviously, against the Heat, you had Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier out. But the Heat were still managed to win. Now you have Jimmy Butler out for a few weeks, which is going to be a big problem. Boston, on the other hand, is a fully healthy roster. They are a great two-way team. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but a good two-way team, which is why I think the Heat could win a game because, they still got talent on their team, but Boston in 5. Moving on to the 4th seed, 5th seed. I am so excited for this series. This is going to be a great series. I think there's going to be some trash talking, especially with the younger players. It's on today in an hour. I can't wait to watch this game. But as far as I'm concerned, the Magic are the way more inexperienced roster. And Cleveland, though, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive teams in the league that could deteriorate them. They have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen in the front court to be able to slow down Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Donovan Mitchell is going to be great in the series, even though he just came back from injury. He's now fully healthy now. I believe he is going to have an incredible playoff run as long as Darius Garland. He's also going to have a great playoff run, and their bench is stacked. The Magic are just not that experienced yet. In Cleveland, I think it's going to walk all over them. This should be an interesting series, but I got Cleveland in 5. You guys can hate on me all you want for saying that, but it's just my opinion. 3rd seed, Bucks versus 6th seed Pacers. Now, the Bucks have a huge problem. And, by the way, this is my hardest series to predict, by the way. but Giannis will be out for 2 to 4 weeks for the Bucks, which the Bucks have already struggled with their awful coach in Doc Rivers, and they have Giannis out on top of that. That's going to be a big problem. The Pacers' inexperience is the big thing that could have them lose in the series. They don't have the players to have all this experience. Pascal Siakam has experience, but Tyrese Halliburton doesn't really have that experience. And, we'll see. The Pacers have been talented this year, and offensively, I don't think the Bucks are going to be able to stop them without Giannis, a key defensive player. So give me the Pacers to upset the Bucks in 7. Now we move on. The Knicks versus Sixers. This is a bad matchup for my Philadelphia Sixers. Playing the rivalry, the Knicks, or one of the rivalries at least, because they have like a million. And the Knicks have home court advantage, which is always going to be something that will hurt the opposing team in the playoffs. Because the Knicks fans obviously go crazy in the playoffs. And, people said that the Knicks are the worst 2 seed ever. How? They didn't get lucky or anything. The Jalen Brunson put up 36 points a game in April. Carried this team without Julius Randle. And will that be sustainable in the playoffs? That's always a thing to look at. But at the same time, the Sixers aren't fully healthy, because when you have Embiid on your team, you don't know if your team's fully healthy. I hate to say it, but the Knicks, even though they have Julius Randle out, Jalen Brunson is just an incredible offensive player. There's no denying that. They have OG Anunoby on this team that was on a run for most improved player, perhaps. You got guys on this team that could really lead them to amazing things. So, give me New York in 6 with their great defense and great coaching. Okay. Second round. Let's predict the second round of these East playoffs. Starting with Boston versus Cleveland. Both teams, destroyed their teams, made quick work of their teams. Boston is a very overrated team because I think Joe Mazzulla is a really, really bad coach. I think he's going to get fired, perhaps, at some point. I don't think he forces his team to play any great defense like Ime Udoka or Brad Stevens did. I think a big problem for them is defense. But the Cavs, on the other hand, they have a great coach that does force them to play hard defense. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are some great interior defenders. And again, they could slow down Jason Tatum in this series if you put the right people on him. You put either Jared Allen or Evan Mobley, probably Evan Mobley, on Jason Tatum. And maybe Donovan Mitchell or, Jared Allen on Jaylen Brown. But the Celtics are a stacked team, I get that. It's going to be hard to defend all of them because they are a stacked scoring team. but Cleveland can play hard. So that's gonna keep going off. But you know, this it's going to be a hard fought series, but I just don't believe in Boston to win. So give me Cleveland upset in 7. Yes, I said it. Guys can call me an idiot in the comment section, but that's just my opinion. Now we got the Pacers versus the Knicks in the second round. This should be very interesting, the semifinal matchup, because, you know, Pacers and Knicks, you know, it's a good series. The Pacers have a lot of scorers on their team, like I said. Tyrese Halliburton has the weirdest jump shot, but he works. He is a great three-point shooter, but the Knicks could be able to stop him if they put the right people on him. Josh Hart could be a great help defensively, or OG Anunoby. And the Pacers don't have a lot of defense, even with Pascal Siakam. So give me New York in 6 games. Alright, let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We have a 4th seed and a 2 seed in these conference finals. The Cavs versus the Knicks. This is my hardest series to predict up to this point, because the Cavs and Knicks, they both have great coaching. They have great defenders. Again, I'm going to keep saying defense is an important thing in the playoffs, because even though this generation of NBA doesn't really play that much much defense, it's still an important thing. But the Knicks are just not there yet. As much as the Cavs. I think the Cavs want it a lot more. They are a stacked team. I think no Julius Randle matters now, because now the Cavaliers will be getting their revenge, and, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the Knicks do have injury-prone players on their team, which is going to be a big factor. So give me Cleveland to win in 6 games. So they move on to the finals. Now let us go to the Western Conference predictions. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 seed, versus the 8 seed New Orleans Pelicans. They are not gonna play with Zion Williamson. That is very, very bad. But, you know, the Thunder have still shown that they are, the Pelicans have still shown that they are a great team without him. Yesterday they played terrific against the Kings, and the Thunder, they have an MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but the Thunder, another underrated thing about Thunder, they actually have underrated defense on their team. They have a solid defense, and they have a great front court, in my opinion. Probably one of the most underrated yet youngest front courts. But I don't think in this case, I don't think their inexperience matters. I believe in the Thunder in 5. I think they can show that they are a talented roster in every way. The Clippers versus the Mavericks. This is a horrible, horrible matchup for LA because, the Mavericks have been incredible. They've been so hard to beat, especially at home. And even though the Clippers have home court advantage, the Clippers have a lot of bad injury luck all the time. Kawhi Leonard's so unreliable. You never know what's going to happen with him. Sometimes with Paul George, but not as much as Kawhi Leonard. And if he's out, then that's going to be a huge problem because there's no one to guard Luka Doncic in this setting. So give me Dallas in 5. The Timberwolves and Suns, a very hard series to predict. I don't know why these 3 seed versus 6 seed series are so difficult to predict. But the Timberwolves and Suns going at it is going to be very interesting. The Suns had a bad first half of their season. They were almost missing even the play-in even. Then the Suns pick it up. They adjust to their new roster and they pick it up in the second half of the season. But what lets us sustain in the playoffs, their new players that they have, the chemistry. That's something that is going to be a struggle. But in the Timberwolves, they have Rudy Gobert, who I think should be winning the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, his fourth Defensive Player of the Year award. A lot of people say it's Wemby, and I get, but think of it, Rudy Gobert as really impactful defender because they went from playing team to now Rudy Gobert just having his best season ever in getting the Timberwolves, because without Rudy Gobert, this team is done. This team's done without Rudy Gobert, in my opinion. And Anthony Edwards, I think he's one of the most overrated players in the NBA. People saying that he should be an MVP and stuff. But, the Timberwolves are still a stacked team. The Suns are stacked too. They have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. But give me the Timberwolves in 7. Next up, we got the Nuggets versus the Lakers, a rematch of the Western Conference Finals last year. The Nuggets swept the Lakers, so I'm going to pick the Nuggets to sweep them this year. No, I'm just kidding. But on a serious note, Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, is still the best in the world by a mile. He should win MVP again. He has just been, just incredible to watch. The Lakers, LeBron, you can never doubt him. He, even at 40 years old almost, he is still one of the best ever to do it. And Anthony Davis, he's the problem. But, Anthony Davis is not reliable in the playoffs with injuries. And if that happens, Jokic could average 40 points in this series. So give me the Nuggets in 6. We move on to the second round of the playoffs. We got the Thunder and the Mavericks. 1 seed versus 5 seed. Now, I believe in both teams to win. This is going to be a very hard series to predict. and I'm not going to be biased here. I do hate the Mavericks, but they're my least favorite team. But, you know, they are a really good team. But the thing is, outside of Luka Doncic and I guess Kyrie Irving, they suck. They absolutely suck. They're the worst team in the NBA outside of those two. They are the worst. They're so bad. And I mean, even without Luka, they might be the even just Kyrie Irving, they might be the worst team in the league. So the Thunder, that they could live without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but like the Mavericks, they just can't live without Luka. But I don't think any injuries could happen in this series. I think both teams will be healthy, ready to go. But give me the Thunder is better scoring and defense in 6 games. Now we have the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. This is going to be an interesting series. A rematch of the first round from last year. Timberwolves, the 3 seed. Nuggets, the 2 seed. I don't think Timberwolves stand a chance in this series because Jokic is just going to be on all over Rudy Gobert offensively. He is going to obliterate him in the post, I think. And, you know, Rudy Gobert, I know Jokic might not be the best rim protector. He's still impactful on defense. People gotta realize that. And Jamal Murray in the playoffs, that they are the best duo in the NBA. So give me Denver in 6. Move on to the conference finals. This should be interesting. Number 1 seed versus number 2 seed. Thunder versus the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. This is going to be very, very hard to predict because the Thunder, but they don't have the experience. That's the problem. So, again, it's not that hard, but when you look at talent, it is hard. But I do believe in the Nuggets on both ends. The Thunder still have some work to do defensively. So give me Denver in 6. Moving on to the NBA Finals. Who do I think will win these finals? This is a 2 seed versus 4 seed in the finals. And it's the Nuggets versus the Cavs. My goodness, this is so interesting. We will hear so much about how Donovan Mitchell is a beast and how he's not going to be traded away from Cleveland like people say. And that, the Cavaliers are going to win the finals. Donovan Mitchell is going to get his first title. But the Nuggets, I just think they're still that team. Jokic, I stand by saying he's the best in the world. Top 10 of all time, in my opinion. Especially if he wins MVP this year and wins another championship. The Cavs are the better defensive team. The Nuggets are the better offensive team. But what it comes down to most is the experience, coaching, and star player. So give me Nuggets to go back-to-back in 6 games. And how many total points will be scored in Game 1 of the NBA Finals? let's see. Um, ooh, wow, I am gonna go with 209. I'm just picking a random number. And I gotta submit this bracket. And boom. So the NBA Finals are finally here. And the NBA playoffs are finally here. Let me know what you guys think of these predictions. Do you agree, disagree? And I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Go Sixers!